Yo, yo, yo! What's going on? Watchlist time. Start off with the typical top down approach. Go into some sector moves, quantum, small cap, some sympathy moves, and see where we're at. So, SPY continued to have trouble with the daily VWAP, but once it starts to break and build back over 70s, prior support that's become resistance. Once it becomes support again, probably continues right back to highs. But it's only been a few days, so it could easily roll over and fail again. So no bias for now, but just noting the support and resistance is trading within a channel. GV finally picked its trend today. Those higher lows gave up. Started to roll over. Not super liquid, but you could put a few on and take that 10-15% fader. CRVO, Perpetual Squeezer. This one was one of those pump names, and 1019 was the breakout on it today. Consolidated right under it this morning, and once it broke out, it never looked back. Pretty illiquid, no volumes really coming back in on these breakouts, so I just prefer to miss it and let it do its thing. But what I can do, so we got basically $8, and then we got tens, and then prior support $8.50, and prior support $5.40. So all I got here is this low and this high, this low and this high, which is the exact same thing I do on an intraday basis. So when you're looking for failed follow through on the intraday, you're looking for prior resistance or prior support to become resistance. So what's happened each time is it's pulled back, consolidated, and then broke out, and then pulled back, consolidated over prior resistance, and then broke out. So now we've got these $10 10 teens. So if this starts to consolidate over these mid to low tens, then there's nothing saying that it can't continue higher. But once it starts to fail these tens and then prove sub 850s, then we've got daily failed fall through starting to prove and could get that rollover. So nothing to fight for me, just keeping it on radar because it's a percent gainer, but no plans on it for now. QBTS, a bit frustrating because I missed the meat of the move here in the afternoon. I was looking for, the plan was for these 950, 960 for that level to break. I had put on a starter here, potential fail fall through, stopped out pretty quick. We got this, and then I'm waiting for bounces, and it never bounces. So the next bounce is right over here, and I'm scaling, covered, scaled, covered, flipped long, and then sold into the pop. And then for the next hour or so, just continuing higher lows. So I draw this little trend line, and it held it right till here, fails, retests, and then that's all she wrote. So this is likely an entry I would have taken, basically a 10 entry versus like a 1040 stop, 40 cents a risk, and you can get some pretty decent size on that given the catalyst has come and gone, price action is proving, and now key levels are starting to fail to fall through. But risking 40 cents and this thing fades $2 is a 5-to-1 trade in an afternoon. So it was really frustrating. I had sat down for lunch right here at market close because Qubit was reporting earnings. So if there was any sort of shove on Qubit, then I thought QBTS might react, and Qubit flushed right away. So I had put some on. Fairly like minimal size. Like I was sized in that if it gapped up, I could react still into these mid nines. So I was like, what's the point in swinging it if it's not meaningful size anyways? Qubit, I really wanted to swing, but Centerpoint didn't have any shares They only had intraday shares. They didn't have any swingable shares. So I couldn't swing this one, but really good alert in the IU room on their $60,000 in revenue. And there was plenty of time there in the 720s before that thing gave way. So I'm thinking these things, well, they're like Qubit is definitely backside of its daily chart. QBTS is a bit closer up near its highs, but I'm thinking this is backside at this point. So any pops using these mid nines as a guide, I think is a swing trade back to where it came from. KBSX was looking for a liquidity trap, needed it to base over these 450s, 5s. We got a little shove pre-market right up into it and no volume, nothing sustained, so no reason to touch that one. ADTX did do the same, gap up, continue higher, but is now in after hours gapping down a hell of a lot. Nate had mentioned in the room today that they were teasing an update on their PR on Friday. So possibility that they use that as a forward-looking event to sell into. Still, the way that it's trading is a bit choppy. Volume isn't continuing higher like I would like, but also hasn't gone red yet. So if it's gapping down where it is now, it'll be too much. Like these mid nines, the close is 11. So if it's gapping down like a buck 50, I can't touch that. But it's just not super extended. Like it's only up from 5 to 10. So I think it's better just not to touch it personally. XHLD, this goes right back to our conversation last time about how time frames on like sympathies tend to shrink day by day. So we had gone over that on what was the name? Does anyone remember what we had talked about time frames? Oh, it was the pump names, the newsletters, where you get that front side move on DWTX, goes for 1, 2, 3, 4 days straight up, and then CRVO gets that gap up and fail, and then RGC was the next one that failed by day's end. It's continued higher since then, but that day trade is what we were referring to, where time frames shrink and shrink and shrink. So what we had on XHLD was KBSX. Which one was it? It was the one the day before. Gosh, my memory is killing me today. What was the name yesterday? Ran, gapped. Let me see if it's on my list here. Yes, we had KBSX. I can't remember. Was it LSE, maybe? Could have been. I can't remember. But anyways, at any rate, what we had on KBSX was big move into close, gap down. So shorts are comfortable holding that into after hours. XHLD, you get that shove into close. Shorts are thinking that's the end of it. Was it KBSX? Okay, I thought that's what it was. So they're comfortable holding into after hours because what just happened on KBSX was right by close on that push was nobody home the following day. So now you get the exact same price action into close, pushes, squeeze everybody out, shorts are in there, but then you get that after hours shove. So shorts get squeezed out and then nobody home today. So now PSTV, you get that big move into close into the last hour. People are thinking, okay, they're going to squeeze them out, consolidate. You get that after hours move. but time frames tend to shrink and shrink and shrink because traders, they jump from one name to the next. They forget about all these recent names. So what just worked was it didn't squeeze after hours. You get one that catches shorts off guard. So then that one rips after hours. No gapper. But now this one, oh, it's going to go after hours. But now the time frames shrink. If all longs are in there and everybody has the same idea, typically doesn't work. So everybody looking for that after hours move gets completely dunked on into close. Not to mention it's got a bunch of overhead resistance. I was surprised this thing even got through those 120s. If you recall, like, look at this. It's a huge shelf right there in the 120s. Just wild, but it came up into this little consolidation zone up in $2. And then consolidate over those 120s, pulled back right to those 120s. So still a key level overall. So with this one having overhead resistance on the daily, overhead resistance from the prior day, I'd be looking for pops back up into prior resistance and look to fade that trend. ARB tried to get going, but nothing can sustain in this market. It just gets hammered. We're just not getting those multi-day runners. My opinion on IBO. Nice move after hours. Squeezer off the open, collects shorts all day. Waits till after hours when there's no circuits. It starts going. That's sick. MTS is calling for a gap up to 7. Close is right around here in the 230s, 240s. So it's up huge. It's up 500% right now from this close. But nice that it closed up here today. So circuit bands will be a bit wider, which is nice. If this started ripping, like you can see here, because it had a sub 75-cent close the prior day. So once volatility starts coming in, the halt bands are super wide based on like that 10% halt band. So now at the higher close, it'll be a bit more tradable. What's this daily look like? There's no history on the daily again. Same thing, KBSX, no daily history. XHLD, no daily history. So now we've got IBO with no daily history. Volume starts to come in. So I think we got one of these due for a gap up, but we'll see. As long as it's over a 70% gap, I'll keep it on watch for a gap up short. But we will see. I'm happy to see percent gainers. And you know what? If this thing gaps up 70%, it's a overextended gap and crap for me. And if I have to take a loss on it, so be it. I'm going to be happy we got some multi-day moves. So either way, I'm going to be happy. Either I short a gap, make some money, or I'm going to short a gap, take a loss, and this thing's going to continue for day 2. So either way, I'm all for it. Chris, MTS, Tina, El Jefe. What's going on? How do you identify swingable shares? Yeah, it's based on the route you pick for locates. So CLSX is swingable and Atlas is intraday only. So I have Class X1, Class X2, and then Atlas. I've got 6 routes. So I had borrowed QBTS in Class X, but Qubit didn't have any under Class X, only under Atlas. PSTV was the even shorter version. Yeah, you got it. Impact Biomedical appoints Chen Hengfei as director, and that's what sends this thing. Sweet. So stupid. So yeah, higher the better on this one. Higher the better the gap. I like that for overextended gap and crap. PSTV bag holder short. Like any pops into recent resistance for some failed fall through. XHLD, this one's too far off the highs to be thinking possible squeezer. I'm going to need that one to consolidate if it wants to build back. ADTX, I doubt I trade it. KBSX failed. Qubit, any pops back up into these 7s, I like for a short. Qubits, any pops back up into 9, I like for a short. So IBIO, PSTV for small cap, and then the quantum trade. That will be my watches for tomorrow. So I think that's good for this evening. And I will wrap it up there. That's my watch list. No sense to do more than I have to going into a Friday. So keep it light, keep it tight, get in where we fit in, and make some memories. So thank you guys. Trade them well. Hope you guys are staying safe in this market. I see some horror stories coming out on Twitter of people not doing too well. So I hope you guys are trading well. And yeah, I will see some of you in Investors Underground and the rest of you on the next watch list. Peace.